My name is Gabriel Garcia from Management 350, and I chose to do my integrative case analysis on Costco. And I basically chose Costco because they are a very ethical company. They have principles of respect and customer service, and also they are a productive company, which means that not only are they productive, but they're ethical, which is those two don't usually go hand in hand. So moving on to the history of Costco. The first Costco location was opened in Seattle, Washington in 1983. And you have the co-founders right here. You have Jeff Brotman and James Sinegal. And between those two, they created the first one in 1983. And then only 6 short years later, they had 46 warehouses total. Now, that's amazing production for, that's amazing expansion for a company that has principles of ethical and respectful to their employees and their customers. Now, the merger between Price and Costco is what also definitely put them on the map. So moving on, what is Costco like? I have a short video for you guys from the Huffington Post that basically just shows the benefits, 11 benefits of Costco, and other than even shopping there. So here's the video.
With the bulk toilet paper and enough free samples to make a meal, you didn't think you could love Costco anymore, did you? Well, the Huffington Post has given us 11 more reasons to love the wholesale giant, and they have nothing to do with shopping. Check this out. So many awesome reasons here. The company pays a living wage. Now, there's a good reason. Unlike a certain company that shall remain nameless at the moment, you actually can get a living wage there, and they endorse a federal minimum wage increase, something rare for a company. Workers actually get benefits, something that, again, you don't see at many other corporations. The CEO makes a reasonable salary, not like the average CEO at a place called Walmart, which makes almost 800 times the average person. Costco doesn't kill Thanksgiving. While many of the competitors are forcing employees to work on Thanksgiving, Costco actually remains closed. And since they give a living wage, it doesn't hurt as much. Their prices aren't horrendously high. People often think places like Costco have to charge more. They don't. And they also don't mark our products just because they can. They hire from the inside. That makes me very, very happy to hear that 70% of Costco managers are hired from the inside, meaning they started on the register and they moved up. They started from the bottom. Now they're here. Free samples. Can I just say free samples? I go to Costco and I just eat free samples. Sometimes I don't buy anything. I just go there and I eat bourbon chicken until I'm full. And of course, if you look here, you see our Vice President, Joe Biden, who's no stranger to freebies, doing the same thing. He actually had no business in the state other than to eat at Costco. That's right.
Okay, and like that video said, there's a lot of reasons that Costco is such a well-respected company. I mean, not only the free samples that we all enjoy, but also the employee benefits as well. Now, moving back to the presentation, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the different theories and issues that Costco has faced and meets during this time. So, unfortunately, I don't have time to talk about all 3 of the different human relation concepts, but I will be focusing on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. See, now the way this ladder works is that in order to reach the top of self-actualization, you have to meet the preceding steps as well, starting from the physiological needs. Now, Costco meets the physiological needs of its employees by providing them with health benefits, including vision, and allowing them to have compensation where they can actually feed their families and make a good amount of money, enough for them to survive on, unlike a lot of its competitors. Now, moving on to the second step, which is safety. Now, because Costco does treat its employees so well, they feel a sense of safety, like they can relax in their job, they can stay in their job. Now, moving on to the next step, which is social or belongingness. Now, Costco is a great community to work in. It's also like a family. So they don't feel the need to leave because they feel that sense of belongingness. Now, esteem. In the video, they talked about 70% of the managers come from the staff already. Like they move up in the business. Like my brother-in-law, he was actually working for them, and when he finished his bachelor's degree, they actually gave him a job in the accounting department at the corporate office in Seattle, Washington, which is really cool. So meeting all of these bottom steps, they can reach the top step of self-actualization, where they have that ultimate goal of feeling happy in what they do. So go ahead and moving on to communication issues. Organizational climate, why employees and customers love Costco. So employees love Costco because of all those reasons I mentioned with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They're being paid well, they're being respected, they're moving up. They basically have all these different things that are going for them. Now the customers love it as well because, like they mentioned in the video, Costco sells in bulk, so which means that they offer these amazing deals for the customer as well. Now, moving on to organizational culture, why the employees stay. We also talked about that, how they feel need to show their work, and they feel motivated to do good work because they feel like they are being respected. Now, going ahead and moving on to the intercultural relationships. Intercultural communication, dealing with different kinds of people within the Costco membership base. They try to teach principles to their employees that keep them treating each customer as an individual, but also treating them with that unwavering customer service as well. Now, moving on to barriers. Every company has barriers, especially a company as large as Costco. I mean, they are found all around the world with over 600 stores and with over, I believe it was 60 million members as their customer base. With that kind of member base, they're bound to have some barriers, like moving into, like they have stores in Japan. The regulations there are going to be a lot different than they are in the United States. So they're going to have to adjust to those, and also time differences and language differences. But thus far, they've done an excellent job in expanding and growing. Now, moving on to the ethical issues. There are some ethical issues that Costco has gotten against them. Now, the waste management, that's a big portion that they're having to deal with right now. The as you can see here, I believe there's 45 million pounds of food wasted by Costco alone each year. Now, that kind of food could feed a lot of needy people right now, and that's what our society needs, is some kind of program to where they can do that. Now, as a solution, I suggested that they could come with programs, and then also they need to deal with the waste management of the containers and all of the plastics and recyclables. They need to promote an eco-friendly environment and show their customers that they can dispose of their products remains in a recycling way, and to help our environment, and also to show that Costco really does care about the future of our world. Now, in conclusion, like I said earlier, there are over 600 locations and 60 million members, making it the largest member-based store or organization company inside of the U.S. and one of the largest actually companies for this type of industry in the U.S. Now, I have had a lot of experience with Costco. I mean, I said my brother-in-law had such a great experience in there. And it's honestly been such a great thing, me being a member of Costco, and that's why it's still expanding, because not only is it like an ethical and a very moral company, but it also is very productive, it's efficient, and the reason why they can afford to pay their employees more is because their employees pay them back. Like, they get the sales that they need to, and that's what makes Costco such a great company. And this concludes the end of my integrative case analysis.